Okay, yeah. So to that point, what we were saying in the last video. So the follow-up tasks here, whenever you want to click them done, mark them complete, all you gotta do is check this little box right here. Okay.
Okay.
The way that you look at all of your tasks is if you scroll all the way up, you go all the way to the top. And then here you're, oh, actually, you know what? I just remember, this bar stays here the whole time. You don't have to scroll all the way up. So you see this tasks button right here?
Uh-huh.
So you can go ahead and click in there. Computer's being a little slow because I'm doing the video right now. But yeah, so we have all of our tasks here. So these are where you can look at all of your tasks. So that way, when you have a lot of different leads, you can just go to your tasks to sort them out. But it's important just to remember that if you're going to be using the tasks pretty heavily, which I very highly suggest that you do, which you should be doing, every time that you go into any lead to update anything, just double check what the task is, and if you've done it, then just check it off. And if you have to create another task for yourself, then create another task.
Okay.
The standard practice here is there should always be a follow-up task unless the deal is closed or dead. Okay? Okay, so if it's closed, obviously you don't need a follow-up task. If it's dead, you don't need a follow-up task. Okay. So going back through it, where did we leave off in the last video?
Sorry, where did we?
Okay, again, this is your space. Just to re-clarify, the agent workspace, this is all the area that you will be making updates and changes to. Excuse me. Seller and property info is for your reference, for your information. Typically, one of these will be clicked, investment lead, either or listing lead. Okay. And I want to spend a minute or two on this. So this is kind of just to tell you what kind of a lead this is. So I think 90% of the time it's going to be an either or, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you present both options. You're always going to be presenting both options. Excuse me. However, if it's a listing lead, for example.
Just grabbing the phone as a joke.
Sorry about that, Virginia. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
So, okay. So if it's an investment lead, we're really going to be pushing for the investment lead. Let's say they're really distressed. We need to sell. They don't have time to put it on the market. Things of that nature. Or they just want a really, low price, and you just need to go there and lock it up, So investment deal ready, okay? What this means is essentially that it's already ready to go. It's not even a question. You just kind of have to go out there and get the contract for us, okay? So this will be the rare cases in which we build all the rapport over the phone. We've followed up. We've already agreed on a price. And like I said, you just kind of need to go out there and get the contract for us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Either or, like I said, is either or, in which there's no real leaning towards either side. And then listing lead is, hey, I don't want a cash price for this. I want $750,000, and it's worth, and then we obviously, doing our analysis, we see that that's what houses are going for. That's retail value. In each case, you know what? I'm sorry. I take that back. In these two cases, the either or, you're going to want to present both options. Okay. Essentially, if it's, I don't want to make this complicated. Essentially, the takeaway from this is if it's investment lead and it's pretty much ready to go, then we don't want to present them with the listing option if we don't have to. However, if in the majority case, right, that will be very rare when that happens. In the majority case, you do present both options if it's either or a listing lead or an investment lead. Okay. So, you have all your information here: your name, number, emails, condition of the property, occupancy, distressed, not distressed, their asking price, and if they're negotiable. Okay. And then the ARV with the offer range is going to be right here. This is our evaluation of the property. You're familiar with what ARV is, of course, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then did they accept, not accept our offer, our verbal offer? And if they have not given any offer, nothing will be here. Nothing will show up. Okay. So, this is the contract section. This is where you fill out the details so that you can print out a contract. Like I said, let's just say, for example, we got this for $140,000. It's vacant. Whichever occupancy it is here, you pick that here. The EMD will almost.
Will you be completing the contract offer amount, because this is on the wholesale side, right? So I wouldn't know what you are offering, right?
Absolutely. So if you scroll up, that will be right here. So this will be filled out every time you go on an appointment. Okay. Now, give me a second. Yes. Okay. So it'll be filled out right here. Investment price. Okay.
Okay. So that's the price that I put to print the contract?
Exactly. Yeah. So we haven't been doing that so far, but we're going to start doing that.
Okay.
Let me make a note of that. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so moving forward, so you fill out all these contract details. If there are any other terms that you guys discuss, more often than not, 99% of the time, this is going to be blank, unless there's something very specific in their scenario that you need to write other terms. Otherwise, there's always a line for that in our contract if you need to write it in when you meet with them on the appointment. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then after you fill all that out, what you can do is you can click this button here. You're more than likely never going to use the DocuSign unless, well, you know what? For now, just don't use the DocuSign because you're pretty much going to be going on all the appointments. So you generate the contract. And then what you're going to do at this point is it typically takes like 2 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes. So, just refresh the page. It's taking a while just because I'm recording a video. But, there you go. See? So, if you look at the files section, it attached the contract here. Okay, under system fields.
Okay.
So you click that. Somebody's sick over there.
Yeah.
Are you at home? Are you in your office or what?
I'm in the office.
Oh, okay. Better tell them to go home. Okay, so this is our contract. This has been our live, breathe, and die for years, and it's so simple, but it works beautifully. Okay, my computer's being really slow. I apologize. It's because of this video. It's usually never ever slow like this. me just pause this for a second. Okay, so here is our contract. As you can see, this agreement is made this 8th of July by between this, the seller and us. I'm just going to briefly run through this. You can read the little details, but essentially, address is right here as its condition, $140,000, and then earnest money, right?
Yeah.
The terms, closing costs, and all that stuff paid in full by buyer. That's the button that we clicked. Remember. Transfer taxes are usually split. Any taxes, liens, encumbrances paid by seller, of course. And then 14 days after the date of ratification is when we plan to close. And this is what I was talking about. If closing is not possible within this time due to issues that arise during title search, closing may be extended for 45 days at option of buyer. So that protects us, of course, and that's solely for, if you want to explain that to them, that's solely for, just in case there's something going on with the title, right, or something going on with the payoff and the things like that, and we need more time. That's typically what we explain to them. Property sold as is, earnest money to be held in escrow by district title, right? That's the title company that we use. Excuse me. Earnest money non-refundable unless title is non-conveyable or seller is not available to close within time period of this contract. Or this is a big one for us. This protects us. Or inspection during buyer due diligence period does not pass or qualify according to buyer standards. So, just for your knowledge, this is a little vague on purpose to protect us, right? And so, 99% of the time, we never have to back out of a contract. I think we've backed out of one contract ever. Because our analysis is very, very is done very well. Our analysis, we know we can always typically sell the property, right? So that's just for us. If you might run into this, if they have a problem with this, you can always just take it out.
Okay.
Seller to provide buyer with permission to access property solely for purposes of valuation and repairs. If property is vacant, seller needs to provide us with a key, etc., etc., etc. Okay, this is important as well. Well, not that important, but this is good for them to know. Basically, they can leave anything in there that they want. If they want to leave a trash, let's say. Because a lot of people ask that, and that's actually attractive to them. It's very attractive to them because sometimes they just want to get rid of it and then not think about it.
Yeah.
So 10, this offer is contingent on the seller providing a clear title. Right? The title will be ordered promptly. I don't know what that was. And let's see. And settlement may be delayed for up to 14 days if the title report is not back. Right. Seller represents that property is currently not under a lease or that the property is currently vacant. Right. That's why we have this vacant contract as opposed to the other two contracts. Buyer will be given sole occupancy at closing. And then contract becomes a legally ratified agreement after visual confirmation of vacated property. That's it. And then they would sign right here. You get them and date it, and then we would sign it and then send it back to them.
Okay.
Then obviously get them to initial here and initial here as well. And that's all. So you print that contract out, and then you just take it to them. And that's what you use on your appointment. We'll also be giving you a little bit more of a credibility packet once we get up and running and our brand gets up and running as well. But that's essentially the contract.
So what do you say when they ask how are you financing? Is whether this is cash, how many lending? How do you respond to that question?
Oh, we just always say it's cash, or it's cash. There's no financing, no contingencies, nothing like that. It's just clean, hard cash.
Okay.
Yep. And then all of our buyers, they're always close. So, um, yeah. Really, like to them, it doesn't really matter what cash means to them. Is just that it's not going to be financed. It's not getting conventional financing, so it's
Right.
not contingent upon anything.
Right. So yeah. So if you cannot assign the contract by the settlement date, what happens? Or that never happens.
It never happens because we're usually really diligent on our numbers,
Uh-huh.
and so we pretty much sell everything that we get our hands on.
Okay.
So, but in the rare case that it does happen, we would either what our standard procedure is here is we would either one attempt to renegotiate the contract with the seller, and if that's not possible, then we would just either cancel it, or what we can do since we're doing this new model is have you potentially try to list it. We can just go back to them, and then this will be our doing in that rare case. This will be our doing.
Yeah.
We'll talk to them and say, hey, we're going to buy this property, but X and X, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do this property anymore. However, we are going to be able to we can formulate it as a good thing. However, great news, we'll be able to list the property and get you even more than you expected.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, so that is the entire Leads app. With regards to your question about feedback, you can always put any and all feedback right here on this, either on appointment notes, if you go on the appointment, or right here on the right side. I like this. This is the activity page because, if you write anything. Oh, whoops! I shouldn't have. I forgot this is an actual lead. Oh, you can delete the comment. Yeah. If you write anything, it's time stamped. So it timestamps it, and it tells you when, what. So this is like the storyboard over here. So I really like this side because like I said, it timestamps you, so it tells you when you updated or when you commented.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't necessarily know if there's any real feedback that we would need on a specific lead. Other than, if you want to just put it here, that's completely fine. Let's say if it was a dead lead or they canceled, then yeah, definitely put some notes here on the right side.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Other than that, I think that's it for the Leads app, unless you have any other questions.
No, I think that's pretty, it's pretty useful for me. I think the key for me will be to download the app and make sure that, that I can use it on my phone.
Yeah, and we're going to go through that as well. So, after the Leads app, this is basically where you're going to be spending most of your time with regards to our leads. After the Leads app, however, the next thing you want to go into is your Appointments app. Oh, where is it? I thought I opened it here somewhere. Okay. Either way, all right. So the next app you're going to be spending most of your time in is the Appointments app. So whenever you have an appointment, let's say, you can come in here. So this is just for this right here is just for once you completed the appointment, right? The only thing you have to update is here going on appointment. You went on the appointment, let's say. And then if it was, excuse me, completed or not kept. Okay. And then so that's honestly the only thing that this appointments app is for. Really, the main thing is just for organization. Again, everything is going to be on the Leads app, all the information, and the completed button is there too. So really, you want to be using that for everything. The appointments app is just going to be for organization and for for scheduling. So
okay, but if I update it on the Leads, it will be updated on appointments tab.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yep. And then lastly, what you want to do is over here, you're going to be able to sync your appointments with your Google Calendar. And do you use Google Calendar?
No, I use Outlook.
Outlook?
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! All right, I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's see. All right, so that's essentially all the appointment app is used for, just so you can keep it updated and we can keep it updated, so we can know your schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's going to sync with our calendars as well. So the listings app, this is pretty straightforward. You let me know, since you are the agent and you know a lot more than I do as with regards to listing, if there's anything else that you need, right? As of this point, this is what we have. You're gonna add. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Let me go back real quick and say this. So we're back in the Leads app, right?
Okay.
So where everything happens. So in the Leads, right, just in the small area that you're working in, if you get the listing, you're gonna include the listing price here that you got it for. Let's say 1 million. Okay. If you get, if you get the listing price for $1 million, let's say, and you just got back from the appointment, let's say you click completed. I'm not going to click this because this is an actual lead. You can go ahead and click this listing agreement ratified, send to listings. And what this actually does is this is going to take this lead and now basically send it or shoot it to the listings app. And the listings app is where you're going to be handling all of your listings, the actual agreements that you got ratified from us.
Okay.
Okay, so if you refresh this, there it is. Okay, see that?
Yeah.
All right, so we click into that, and we're going to work off of this one because this is how it's always going to be. You should always be using that button. You should never really be creating a new listing, but you should always just be using that button so it creates it automatically for you. Okay. So corresponding lead is already going to be attached. You, Virginia, and then it's automatically coming soon, right? Listing status because it hasn't gone live yet. Here are the details, the address, the listing date, the price listed for, agreed upon commission, right? And then that is going to estimate your profit, right? And then the MRIS number, link to the comps, link to Dropbox pics, and then the property details. Okay. Other than that, just if you go to closing, just put the closing price, the closing date, and then this will tell you how much commission Cool?
Yeah.
All right. So this is your projected profit based on our model, right? Since we're taking 30% at the moment. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then let's say, for example, if you put here, you put it actually sold for 1.05, then your commission is going to be updated right here. Takes like just a few seconds, but it updates. Then you put the closing date here. Alright, and then that is all. Okay, any questions?
No, I think this was very useful. So I appreciate the time that you're taking to go over this.
Absolutely, yeah. This was very much needed, and I apologize for this not having been done already.
Well, I did it with Raphael, but we just did kind of like the top portion of the leads, and it was before we were actually using the system. So now that I have been using it for a bit, the refresher is very useful.
Okay, great, yeah. By the way, so you're getting, again, just to re-clarify, you're getting 8% on any wholesale deal that we wholesale, right? So for all the investment contracts that you get, let's say if it's a $100,000 deal, you're gonna get $8,000 upon closing. Okay. And then you can keep track of that here in investment deals. That's what this app is for. So, again, jeez, this video is really slowing the computer down. Okay, so this is the same thing. So if you ended up getting the investment contract, right, and you got it for, let's say, $500,000, then you just put that here. And then you click this button. Investment contract ratified. Send to investment transactions. And what that's going to do is create an item here in this app. Nope. Come on. Oh yeah, that's right. This one does take just a minute or two because it has to go to our system first, and then it comes back to your system. There you go. See? And this one is very basic. This is kind of just for you to keep track of all of your investment deals. And you don't have to update this. This will you can just come here if you want a status update. Okay?
Okay.
So let's say it's 10 days from when you got the contract and you're like, hey, what's going on with this? You can see if it's in marketing phase. And marketing means, marketing to all of our buyers and investors. All right? Schedule and showing means that, we're in the process of showing the property and we're scheduling people to come see the property. Follow-up offer is when we already show the property and we're kind of getting follow-ups and then people are submitting their offers. Assigned means that we have successfully assigned the deal, and then closed means closed. So typically, if it's vacant, we can go through this process in as little as 14 days, sometimes even less. But typically it takes about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks if it's vacant. If there are tenants, we usually don't deal with the headache unless it's a great deal. In which case, we typically can get people out of a property. We typically can get the tenant transactions done in a matter of a month and a half. Because
you just offer them an amount to move out.
Absolutely, yeah. We compensate them accordingly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But that's all. That is the entire system. I'm pretty sure that's. I mean, it's pretty thorough, so I think it covers everything that you need. If there's any questions or feedback or even suggestions that you have that can improve the system, let me know. Other than that,